Welcome to the Property Pulse podcast. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce Jannine Airey, a dedicated mortgage broker and operations manager at Finance. With years of experience in the finance industry, Jannine has empowered countless clients to achieve their homeownership and investment goals by offering tailored mortgage solutions. Known for a client-focused approach, Jannine's committed to guiding her clients with transparency and expertise.
Welcome to the Property Pulse podcast, your prime source for Southeast Queensland real estate insights. Understand the latest property data in Queensland to grow your net worth, as Geoff Tomkins interviews industry experts to give you the latest market updates.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Property Pulse podcast. I'm Geoff Tomkins, your host and founder of GCT Property, helping our clients, home buyers and investors navigate the real estate market in Southeast Queensland and beyond. Today I'm excited to introduce you to Jannine Airey, a seasoned mortgage broker and operations manager at Finance. Jannine has a wealth of experience in mortgage strategy and helping clients reach their home ownership and investment goals with confidence. Welcome along, Jannine.
Thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
You're welcome. Okay, so just a quick disclaimer before we start. I just want to add a general disclaimer here. The advice we give today is of general in nature. It does not take into account your specific needs or circumstances into consideration. So please look at your own financial position before investing in real estate. Okay, so let's get into it, Jannine. So the first question is please explain a bit about your background in the finance world today.
Yeah, sure. I was introduced into finance way back in the 90s. I lived in Canada for 10 years and I worked for the Toronto Dominion Bank and just various roles. Back in Australia, I worked for Suncorp Bank, started as a teller. Then I worked with credit analysis, and then I moved into ANZ. So I've worked for sort of more institutions. So it was a bit of a journey into my mortgage broker life, but I'm very comfortable and very happy where I am now.
Fantastic. Now, I know we've been working together for a bit of a period now with home buyers and investors, and I must say the feedback from my clients of your service and getting back to them in detail has been, very high level, Jannine. So I really appreciate your depth and experience. It's really helped our clients.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I know technology's really changed the world that we live in, and in terms of finance and banking, I know I've seen myself being able to, get documents and electronic documents has made it so much easier. Can you just explain from the loan application point of view how technology has actually helped speed up the process and make it easier for people looking to borrow money?
Yeah, sure. I think post-COVID, we've been really lucky. It's one of the really positive things that have come out of that COVID period. It has sped up the process and streamlined the process for the clients. We can now get all the application documents out and the home loan documents out via email, and you can sign them with e-sign or DocuSign. So I think that makes life so much easier. You no longer have to print, 60 documents and
Sure.
And get witnessed or anything like that. It's just really streamlined the process. So and even uploading. I mean, we just upload the client's documents into a portal, and it all just gets pushed through the back end into the lender, whichever lender you choose. And it's no more faxing, anything like that. It's just so streamlined.
Yeah, I think it's great when you have to, especially if you've got, most of us have multiple different bank accounts and having to upload statements from each account, and it's quite an ordeal. But with these links that you send out now, it automatically uploads all the information. It's from a borrower's point of view, it's much easier, much more seamless, and time saving as well. So I think it's
safer.
And safer as well, of course.
Yeah.
Now, when we're going to look for a loan, we've got a choice of, going to a bank and applying for a loan, or coming through a finance specialist such as yourself. I've been using, mortgage brokers for well over 20 years now for various reasons.
Yes.
Can you just please explain some of the benefits of having a broker that's got access to a lot more, banks and options? I know banks' policies are changing. It's very confusing. Lenders have different policies, and they're continually updating those policies. So how important it is have a good finance specialist and the benefits that you can offer someone looking to borrow money.
Yeah, definitely. I think for anyone who hasn't used a broker, the first thing to know is that banks work for the shareholders, whereas brokers work for you. Our best interest is your goal. We work with our clients for years, and we set out the strategy, and we work together as a team to get them to reach their goals. So we do have a number of lenders at our fingertips. So when you go to a bank, you really only got one product, whereas we're lucky enough that we have first, second and third tier lenders. So we really can adapt to any situation. If you had a past or you've got, a dodgy credit score or whatever it is, we can work with that and we can set out a plan to bring you back to a mainstream lender. We just have those tools available to you, but more importantly, we're working for you as a client.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Being a self-employed business owner myself, I know the banks, the major banks, they look at us very differently. It's quite often a lot more challenging. And I know as a specialist with business owners yourself, you've got a lot of products and services and lenders that will tailor more for self-employed people. Which really helps us. And it could be a first-time buyer that the major banks require a bigger deposit or long-term in their employment, things like that, where maybe a second or third tier lender can help that client get on the property ladder sooner, which is going to save them a lot of money in the current market,
Yeah, not only sooner, but I think increase the lending amount. So I think it depends on what the outcome is. If we have clients that are self-employed and, they've got 2 good BAS and that's all we need, then we can actually get them more than if we had a full 2 years financials. So it depends on what the outcome is or what they're trying to achieve on which avenue we take for them. And that's where the strategy comes in.
Sure, very, very important. I think that's another point you just raised, the strategy. A lot of our clients are looking to build a property portfolio of investment properties. So it's not just getting the loan approved for this property, it's what's going to be next. So making sure that the loans and the finance structure stays correct if they're looking to borrow to build their property portfolio is very, very important,
Yeah, most definitely. And I think sometimes if all of your lending is with one bank and everything's crossed and locked up, it does limit the growth of your portfolio.
Yeah, and that's another point. I think, some people just looking for the lowest interest rate, but it's not always about that. Sometimes, personally, I've gone with lenders that have got a higher interest rate just to get the loan approved because I know the profit's going to be, and the property's going to far outweigh a bit of an increase, a bit of a higher, interest rate. We all see those advertised rates, which are very appealing in the media, but when we come to actually make the loan application, it's a very narrow window of qualifications to meet that, criteria.
Yeah. And a lot of times with my clients, we'll do a 12-month plan or a 24-month plan to get them in the door with that lender. And then we take them across to a mainstream lender after that. So they don't want to miss the opportunity. So they go for it. They take the higher rate for the year. And then we work on getting them into a position where we can take them to a mainstream.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart move, especially when the property market that we're seeing, moves so fast, a 6 or 12 month delay in holding off that purchase. Especially in southeast Queensland, that could be a difference in paying another 50 or 100,000 for that same property. The way the market's currently moving.
Yeah, it is. It's frightening, this market. It's incredible to watch it.
Yeah, for sure. And the next question is, as you're talking to the banks on a regular basis and the BDMs, how do you see, interest rates? Like I know they're talking about the fixed in rates we're dropping. How do you see the interest rates panning out over the next few months into next year, Jannine?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Look, it's so tempting. We're seeing a lot of lenders drop their fixed rates. It's so tempting to lock down, but I think for now, if you can, just hold off. We are expecting the drops to sort of kick in around February, March when the RBA meets. So I think if it's your nature to really like those predictable repayments and that sort of thing, then I wouldn't fix for more than a year at the moment because it's too volatile. And we are expecting some pretty good drops next year. So, yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting, and that's potentially another reason for those that are sitting out on the fence at the moment, not sure whether to buy their first property or the next investment property. Obviously, if the rates drop, that's going to increase all of our borrowing capacity. That's going to probably make more competition for every property that's currently available. So I think that could be a telltale effect on how the market could potentially move next year.
Yeah. We just need the Queensland government to catch up with the first home guarantee scheme in the fog to make sure they line up.
Yeah, that's a really good point for anyone that's watching this podcast today. That's a first home buyer. There's a couple of grants available. So if you are looking to get on the property ladder, there's currently the first home loan deposit scheme and the first home owners grant. That first home owner grant, 30,000. How good is that, Jannine?
Incredible. I wish that was around when I was when I was buying a house.
You and
Yeah.
me both. And
Yeah.
so there's a couple of schemes there, and the price point varies for each of them. So if you're looking to get into the property ladder and you don't think you have quite got enough deposit, I'd recommend that you have a chat to Jannine, because there is some options out there, and some of those grants could really save you,
Yeah.
a huge amount of money, in terms of lenders' mortgage insurance, and help with the deposit side of things as well.
And I think too, if you're not ready, that's the best time to talk to us, because then we can actually set out a roadmap on how to get you into that home in a period of time. You really need help from those people who do it all the time to understand what's involved, what costs are involved, who to speak to. Just this morning, I was speaking to one of our clients, and we'll probably be looking to purchase maybe 6 months' time, but
Right.
we've got a plan in place to get them ready so they know what they have to do now.
Right. I think that's a really good bit of advice there.
Yeah.
When my daughter helped her into a new home a few years ago, and the first thing she did was have a chat to the finance specialist, and she wasn't quite ready. So rather than
Yeah.
rush into the bank, secure a property, and get a decline on a loan application, the broker gave her really good advice of what to do and get her finance ready in terms of loans
Yeah.
and credit and everything like that. So when we secured the property, they would know with confidence that she was actually going to get the loan approved and be successful, and it all worked out, really well. So, good advice there. Well, thank you, Jannine. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know you're very busy as a finance specialist, rewriting loans and new loans. It's a hectic time of the finance world, but I really appreciate you joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Geoff.
Thanks for joining us today. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please share this episode. We'd love you to leave us a review, as it really helps others to find our podcast and benefit from the content we share. We're always looking for a new building our audience, and also our hosts that really can share and give you that information. Remember to hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest episodes. And if you'd like to make contact with Jannine or myself, our details will be in the show notes. See you next time.